Hi, I'm Rob from HopZine. Thanks for joining me live on YouTube for another episode of Good Beer Live. As always, joined by my cohorts. Jake, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Good.
Looking forward to some Kernel beers.
Yeah, quite hungry. And Craig, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good. Kernel beers, come on. I mean, they're just it's Kernel. What can you say?
Very good, very good.
Major
so
beer.
yes, as people may have noticed already from social media, we've got free Kernel beers tonight. Yay! Yeah, I guess Kernel are one of the godfathers of what we understand now as like the British craft beer scene. But I think still doing incredible beers, which tonight will hopefully prove, and also maybe a little bit overlooked at the moment as well. Probably, and I think it's probably down to cans. I've got my philosophies on all that kind of malarkey. But shall we get cracking? Because I'm a bit thirsty. So the first beer that we're going to be looking at is a bottle of, excuse my lighting, terrible lighting, excessively good lighting. That's why you can't see it. No, you still can't see it. It looks like I'm being abducted by aliens with my light. It is Pale Ale Nelson Sauvin Galaxy, 5.4% ABV, 500ml bottle, which is always nice. Hence, you're going to see a rarity, me with a fucking pint glass.
For Jesus.
Oh, I'm going to do it in one. And a bottle opener. Isn't that a weird thing?
Yeah, that's why I've got like millions of bottle openers, and I actually had to find them.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by them.
Yeah. Bottle openers.
You need a bottle opener for? They can openers soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Brexit Britain, isn't it?
There we go. Oh well.
It's like 2 minutes in.
Not bad.
I've already gone full
political.
Yeah.
So, beer glass, quite effervescent, but from what I can, but my glass might be a bit dirty.
Nice.
Yeah, get over it. All right, it's clean, but it just might not have been used for a while.
No, I'm sure.
Yes.
Last night, probably. All that carling.
Colour-wise, once upon a time, this was kind of the Kernel were responsible for the term London murky. That's what people kind of like coined in regards to Kernel. I'm sorry, I'm just manoeuvring my shit around. But I mean, that's not mega murky, really.
No, it's hazy. It is hazy. I mean, it's one of those things I remember about Kernel in the early days, like of my craft beer adventure. Well, it was when someone served it to you, it was like it's supposed to be like that. It was always like the caveat with like Kernel beers, and that's what that is. It's like it's supposed to be like that.
This is almost normal now in the craft beer, I guess. Whereas, like you say, like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe a bit longer, whenever they started, it was like, what is that? I used to get that, especially with the table beers. That's probably the brewery that actually introduced me to that style. So, but yeah, I was like, wow, look at this, is hazy. It's like,
but it's quite like a deep color. It's got like my glass anyway. It's a bit sort of orangey with a with a lighter core. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, great head. That's just sticking around.
Yeah, really good.
So this was bottled in, I think, back middle of, so 11th of December. So here's something that's put to the test as well. Is it acceptable to drink IPA that is a little bit older than 3 weeks?
Yeah.
And like, can address those prejudices at some point. So shall we check out the aroma?
Indeed.
Oh wow, that's just Nelson.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's white grape.
Yeah, big white grape.
Little spicy dryness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a kind of a dried straw kind of like thing. My glass is not great for aroma. So. Yeah, I'm getting that kind of like dandelion thing that you get from Nelson. Pineapple, big time.
It just smells lush.
Yeah, a little bit grapefruity.
Yeah, it's not overly.
No,
but yeah, it's pineapple. I don't know. There's something else I can't. It's like
a bit of apricot.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a very soft smelling beer, isn't it? It's not particularly pungent. I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
It's not like
bit,
Storm.
No.
Slightly, I'd say herbal. It's only a very slight. But
the more I smell it, it's for me, it's undiluted sort of pineapple and orange squash.
Yeah.
The more I smell it, the more I want to drink it.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that then.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. God damn. Oh.
Hello.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's like a chalkiness at the front,
Oh, yeah.
and then it drops off straight away into that passion fruit sort of.
Yeah, you do, and then there's a nice prickle of bitterness, kind of like just running through it continuously.
It's quite a nice body to the beer as well. It's medium.
Yeah, passion fruit's a good call there. I'd say, Craig, it's got that slight bit of almost like tartage.
Slight, almost like prickly pear, maybe or something. Bit dry, but slight dryness to it, but then not too much.
Yeah.
You want to have another.
Absolutely, there is a dryness to it, and that dryness comes with the bitterness as well. I mean, it's not overtly bitter. It's not kind of aggressively astringent or anything. It's just got a nice prickle running through it. I guess one of the things that I probably don't come back to Kernel as often as I should is because I'm never that sure it's going to be that fresh. And do you know what I mean? This is last year, so a month and a half old, just over. And if I was seeing cans from Verdant of like Headband or something, would I buy them? Do you know what? Probably not. But maybe that's this kind of weird prejudice that we've built up with the kind of advent of like excessively fresh beer. I don't know.
Yeah, because what was it like when we were drinking Kernel before the whole freshness? Because there's always it's always been around, hasn't it? Been drinking fresh and that, but
yeah,
I don't remember seeking out 2-week-old Kernel beers. I remember just buying what was there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was never really a massive like concern. Like, it wasn't like the end of the world if it wasn't. Yeah, maybe it was because at that point the hoppy beers that we were used to drinking were American, and if you got them 6 weeks old, you'd be probably quite happy. But now 6 weeks. How long? What's Cloudwater's kind of fresh old now for their kind of? Because they've got 2 dates on there. It's like drink before and best before.
Yeah, so, fresh before and best before. Yeah.
They've got 3 dates, haven't they, on there? So, but I always get confused with that. It's like that doesn't take much for me, of course. But anyway, so I had the page ready for the Untapped thingamajig, and I deleted it for some reason. I got rid of it. So,
but yeah, there is. It's quite interesting. There's not. I think I've become very used to having quite a prominent melon. I'm noting a lot of pale ales and IPAs I'm drinking at the moment, so that'll be really interesting when we get into the actual IPA next. But yeah, there's that kind of like there's the dryness. There's maybe slightly chalky. A bitterness that kind of hangs about, but not unpleasant. Citrus, maybe citrus more than kind of like pale stone fruit, that kind of thing. I guess when you think of Nelson, obviously it's the white grape. People always think of Galaxy. It doesn't seem to be used as much as. I'm surprised it's not used more, because I always think when I think of beers from Treehouse in particular, Galaxy is quite a prominent one in the kind of that New England style. Galaxy must be a hard one to get a hold of, and maybe because Kernel's been around for a while, they get the opportunity to get
Yeah.
And certain hops that other breweries who aren't quite as tenured have the opportunity to get. But yeah, I can't, if you ask me what Galaxy tastes like, I don't think I'd be that confident in saying what it was.
No.
It's
I mean, it's used in quite a different array of beers, isn't it? Galaxy. It's not just like an IPA hop. It's like
I think Guinness bought out a load of that hop in particular, and then it became much harder to get hold of for other breweries. I can't remember what.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't remember what beer it was, but I know they bulk buyed like 2 or 3 hop farms worth.
Yeah.
And it just,
Diageo.
Yeah, I can't remember what beer exactly.
Shit.
Yeah, I can't remember what beer it was, but they used it in. But
yeah, that's an interesting point to make. I mean, I was listening the Hop Indians podcast recently, and they were talking about they were drinking Windermere Pale from Hawkshead, which is a very solid cask ale. But I think that's all Citra.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of beers like that, which is a good, decent beer, but then you think, businesses like Diageo bulk buying quite exclusive hops like Galaxy and probably grown in quite limited quantities. And I think, do you really need to use that? I mean, one of my most local brewery, which is Salt Beer Factory, when they first opened, their Pilsner they were using Mosaic in it. Not a hell of a lot of Mosaic, but Mosaic all the same. And I just thought, what's the point? I mean, you're probably paying over the odds for a hop, which is probably quite expensive in the first place. Not the easiest to get hold of. And if you're going to make, for example, a lager, and if you're a big business like Diageo, why would you go for something which is limited in quantities and expensive when you can have something, make a better judgment and have something more suitable?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're making a lager, for example, why don't you just stick a load of Hallertauer and Tettinger and Sarts and stuff in it like that? It's been proven that they're good hops to go in lagers.
Is that well, especially if they're just making a straight lager. If they're making like a hoppy lager or an IPA or whatever, then you can see the sense in using it. But just to use just a little bit of Mosaic, it's just a little bit just sprinkled in.
It? It just seems an odd thing to do. I mean, so I'm quite interested that they've got. I mean, I know that Nelson, I think, was quite dominantly used by Brewdog. It's a prominent hopping punk, I think. So from what I remember when Andy Parker was doing second batch of Lord Nelson, he's Saison, he's kind of Hefeweizen. Was it really? Is it like a Saison Hefeweizen type of thing hopped with Nelson? He actually got some off Brewdog because there was just none of it around.
Wow.
And so I think it's probably maybe that one took went a bit obscure for a while because it was because a bigger brewery was buying a lot of it to produce a core product.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment it just feels like everything's Citra, Mosaic, and another. Yeah. But anyway, we can get onto that in a moment because Craig's got the important untapped details. What have you got there, Craig?
Well, it's obviously it varies in ABV, where a lot of obviously Kernel beers do. I mean, ours is a 5.4%, and it's got it listed there on Untapped for this one anyway. That's the only one I could find. It's 5.2. Not particularly a lot of ratings either. I don't know if you got it right. Okay, 174 ratings then, so it's coming at 3.96. I mean, it's been around this beer, as you can see, since 2013. So it's obviously not a beer that they brew, I would say, very often, unless there's another page for this beer. Also, the Galaxy is first and the Nelson Sauvin was second, whereas on our bottle it's the other way around. Not that it matters, it's the same beer. So, but yeah, so it's quite. Is there anyone who just said very fresh hop, very refreshing? What? Fresh hop, very refreshing pale ale. Okay. So there's a few. So 6 hours ago. Right.
So there's been some quite relatively recent check-ins.
Yeah, 7 hours ago. So yeah, there's several today by the looks of it. So.
Oh wow!
So that's it's obviously the same thing. I would assume. But yeah.
People look like been given it today. They were prominently fours, weren't they, on there?
It should say this is the thing I like about Untapped. I know we got into a discussion the other day online. Draft. Any bottles anywhere? Let's have a look. Any bottles? That bottle? No, it's draft. Draft. Okay. Is there any bottles anywhere? Don't look like it.
Everybody's at plugging taps.
Yeah.
Wherever that is.
I don't know. Everything's on draft by the looks of it. Oh, there's a bottle. Okay.
Oh, 4.25.
So that's like 3 days ago.
Well done, Nick.
Yeah.
Open bracket. Full stop.
Yeah, just so you know who it is.
But yeah, it's so there you go. Let's go into the brewery. I've got the page open for the brewery. As most people would know, obviously, at Bermondsey, part of the Beer Mile, although they don't have a tap room anymore, which is unfortunate. But,
yeah, as my mate Gav likes to call it, Bermondsey, which when we were in London for last year, I found great hilarity in reminding him that I'd incorrectly said Bermondsey. Like, what the fuck is that?
The wrong emphasis.
Yeah, so I can't remember when the brewery was actually established. I should know. Is it like 2000 something? I can't remember.
It's a while ago.
Yeah. I should have. I did remember. I did know, and then it's like you just forget things. It's like I didn't plan to look that up. I thought it might be on there, but it just goes into various bits and bats on the thing about the. I mean, it's got all their social media plugs here. See what it says on their website.
Kernel's website has been updated for fucking years.
I have not. I don't know.
As active as their social media.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not there, is it really? I was just more looking for when they were set up, but obviously not. But they are on.
I know they've got
all platforms.
Got that amount much information about. No. But yeah, it's going back a while, man. I mean, I remember the first time I went to Kernel. Knocked on the door. Finally found it. I found it as there were like a plume of steam coming out of the kind of outlet, and you could just kind of like smell hops in the air. Kind of went, knocked on the door, knocked on the roller shutter door, went in, hung around. I had a tour, which was probably, I think that took about 15 paces at that point. As we were leaving, Esther knocked over a glass. A bag. I remember that. We were leaving, crash. But I think I walked away with a box of beer for free.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm such a memory is going in there, and clearly they'd had lunch a couple of hours earlier, and because where the original brewery kind of was, which I think is where Bottle Shop is now. If not, it's one of maybe next door or whatever.
Yeah.
It was shared with a cheesemaker and a place that imported. Kind of like meats and salamis, cured meats.
Nice.
My mate said it was Nell's Yard because that's who Evan used to work for. But I don't know if it was. Maybe it was somebody connected to them because Nell's Yard are a cheese company more than like a charcuterie place. But yeah, it was nuts. There was like this little room which was all kind of like white tile and this cauldron in it for making cheeses, and then there was like a locker full of like salamis hang up. But I mean, so they'd had lunch and they had a hunk of bread from like the bakery next door, and they had like empty bottles of their beer knocking around and like remnants of some meats and a little bit of like a hunk of cheese. I'm thinking that's the kind of lunch I could go for at work.
Yeah,
like most days. They're quite happy with that, but I've not been for quite a while really. Don't really get down Bermondsey that much. Still tempted to say Bermondsey every time.
Bermondsey.
By mistake, I'll call it Bermondsey.
Bermondsey.
I haven't been for a while because there's a few other tap rooms, or one in particular tap room that's opened up last autumn. So I want to get down to.
Who was that?
The Cloudwater.
Oh right, no, yeah, of course, yeah. I've not been to Cloudwater. I've not been a mall.
Yeah. No, not been. There's a few. There's there's loads of places in London that I just not got to. But there's so much choice. It's like, but the trouble with London, as we all know, it's you got that there, you got this here, and that down there. You have to prioritise. I'm going to do that, and then that area.
It's too big. It's just too big, isn't
it? Yeah. There's loads of good places. It's amazing, but not doable in like a day, or even like 2-3 days. It's just not possible.
Yeah. You completely, you're right. You've got to pick an area and kind of stick to that. And I mean, and nowadays, last time I was in London, maybe what hell of a lot open.
Yeah.
But Brewbag Numbers was kind of like the main places to kind of head.
Yeah.
For us, but I guess and obviously with Verdant joining up with Pressure Drop, that's kind of dragging you in a really different direction as well. You can't. A bit of a push to do both of them in a day, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got the is it the Cock that's just round the corner, that pub on the corner? It's, the same.
It's the Cock around the corner.
Cock on the corner.
There's a lot of Cocks around corners in London. In whatever way you want to interpret.
But it is on the corner. It's there for if you need it.
Cock on corner.
If you need it.
That's a pub in Keighley.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Who wants to do the honours in introducing the next one?
Was there any comments or?
Oh yeah, good point. Getting too into
drinking the beers.
Yeah, I know the beers.
You forget sometimes that like we're supposed to be doing a show and we just chat.
It's okay. It's all good.
So we've got comments from starting out with our lovely Peter, the Clueless Drinker, saying hi y'all.
Yep. Good brother.
And then we've got Nukovic says cheers! Exclamation mark. Cheers! And then Rucker Stoker says that 2 bottles worth in that glass. No, it's a pint glass. It's a 500 ml bottle. Yeah. Stu, 1974. That's Mr. Bob Wells, isn't it? Saying hi guys, how are you? Very good, thank you very much. And then we've got Friend Sunset. Good evening, gentlemen. Then we are joined by BeerTube royalty, the esteemed Mr. Ollie over at Pint Sized. Say sup. It's got to be one of the worst brewery websites. Quite true. Yeah, if you've not seen Ollie's channel, shame on you. He's much better than we are. Thanks for tuning in, Ollie. And then Craig's actually commented and said, "Hey viewers." Yeah. He's all about detail, is Craig.
Craig's amongst it.
Anyway,
and then Luke 19989. So he is the 19,989th person to be called Luke and try to claim on YouTube. But thanks for joining us. No one ever talks about Kernel anymore. It's such a shame. Absolutely, and that's the bloody reason why we're here tonight. Because I think you're completely right, Luke. This is why. It's easy to pass these by. When we'll get onto that in bits, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the kind of the inbuilt prejudice of kind of like can versus bottle and stuff. We'll get onto that later. But yeah, so Craig, are you going to do the honours on this one?
Okay then. Yeah, it's their IPA Citra, 7%. The ABV varies from batch to batch. So yeah, 7% ABV, 330ml bottle, bottled on the 18th of December of 2018. Yeah, they're giving this bottle a 4 months on the shelf life. So yeah, nothing else to show. The bottle's all the same.
I've got a whiff as I open that.
I just noticed on the back of the bottles that in the ingredients they all list sugar as an ingredient.
Oh really?
So is that a little bit of bit of sugar in the
for priming purposes?
For priming, yeah.
That's a real homebrew kind of
yeah. All of the bottles have sugar in the ingredients.
Yeah, I guess reseeding it, so you get a little bit of you're potentially kicking it back into suspension. This is one thing that Kernel always used to be. Well, there is a bit of slurry in the first one.
Yeah.
Dirty. But I mean, that was always the thing back in the day. Like, you had to leave like that much in the bottom of your bottle of Kernel oil before.
Craig
I didn't pour all that, so I might have the New England version later.
Yeah, I've left that, and I've gone sort of 3/4 of the way up the glass, and yeah, it's at this stage it's fairly clear.
Yeah,
It
I
is
mean,
really quite clear, very, very pale.
it's got a bit of a haze to it, but like way clearer than the last beer.
Yeah, one finger.
It doesn't even hit the haze for days.
No,
No,
it's not even on the spectrum.
Point. It's not on the spectrum. It's off the spectrum.
Haze for minutes. Yeah. but yeah, it still looks strawy coloured, I guess, but creamy, one finger, white head. Yeah.
I mean, it's the condition of the beer, which is just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you get with Kernel. It's a quality product.
Yeah. There's so solid in pretty much everything I've ever tried. That's pretty damn. I mean, I'm not a brewer or a home brewer or anything, but I would imagine that is probably one of the biggest challenges for any breweries, getting that consistency over such a long period of time. But they just seem to do it every beer you have.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like having half sniffs as you were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
Lovely.
Holy hell, there.
Vibrant.
That really, see, I had a mystery beer the other night, and that was a Citra beer, and I thought I knew what Citra smelled like, and it turns out I don't. But that really smells like the other beer I had. And it is a kind of, once again, there's a grassy kind of like A-like note to it.
Yeah, but I always think Citra dominant beers are like, it's almost prickly. The smells are like, oh, it's not it's a weird thing to say. It's not a smooth smell.
Yeah,
it's actually quite sort of like
I get you,
harsh and prickly.
But I'm getting like a slight kind of, like say, grassy, oily sort of thing.
Yeah, gooseberry.
Yeah.
It's funny smelling IPAs that, I mean, a single hop Citra IPA.
Yeah.
I mean, find another 10 of them on the market at the moment, and there will not be anything like this. I mean, you're used to them being quite melon forward as well at the same time, and maybe it's showing the difference in when you're packing it full of a lot of proteins and stuff, how it will change a hop. Because I think kind of like in Sidecar from Verdant in that Citra. I might be wrong, but anyway, pick a Citra focused beer, and maybe if I had like an Oakham Citra, maybe if you had that side by side with it, maybe you get a truer kind of a impression of what it is.
And I don't see the yeast plays a big part in it. Like that, like Kernel's not using sort of like New England yeast strain.
Yeah, for month.
Probably a really kind of neutral, kind of West Coast. Kind of if you're WLP 001 in it, really. Is it 001 or 002? Can I remember?
Yeah, it's sort of like
yeast, essentially.
Sort of like dried lemon. It's sort of like there is citrus there, but it's sort of like it's dried. It's not like juicy.
Yeah, it's not juicy. It's not.
I'm gonna see your dried lemon. I'm gonna raise you a preserved lemon.
Preserved. A petrified lemon.
Petrified. Out of its wits.
You get preserved lemons. You're using kind of like Moroccan cooking stuff.
Yeah.
In a jar. So it's that kind of. So it's not sharp.
No, it's not sharp. No. It's
not going overtly sweet.
But for other Citra pale ales or IPAs, I've the aroma wise, I've had much kind of more vibrant, like in your face.
Yeah. But I mean, this is probably like compared to like the New England type beers. It's different yeast, different types of malt. I mean, it's how they all play off each other, isn't it?
Yeah,
and the amount of dry hop as well. I mean, people got used to stupid levels of dry hopping, and this is probably just by a lot of people's estimations, probably quite a lot of dry hopping. But in comparison to Cloudwater and people like that, it's probably not as big at all. But anyway, shall we dive in?
Go for it. Cheers.
Oh wow! But the taste though is like okay.
I think you're going to get a lot more beer like this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
because there's a bitterness, but it's not once again just like the first one. It's not aggressive, but it's just it keeps coming back for another mouthful. Well, that's the entire point of bitterness in a beer as well. After all,
I mean that is 7%. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I just have to go. What?
Yeah. I've just realised 7%. That is drinking like a session IPA. Like so soft and just delicate and just crushable.
Yeah, I'm getting a slight dankness, slight savoury edge to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not quite full on raging garlic and onions, but there is a nice little sort of savoury bite.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Maybe there's a general waft of freshly chopped garlic.
Yeah.
Yeah, once again, I'm going to go kind of a bit of maybe a bit of elderflower, maybe some grape, maybe something maybe slightly herbaceous, like
I'm getting
maybe slightly coriander.
I was going to say
parsley.
I'm getting like stewed chive. Where it's just like where it's kind of it's not none of that. It's just a hint of it rather than because it's got a strong herb. So,
yeah. It's not as oniony, but
no,
because that's quite a grassy hop, a grassy herb, I guess.
Yeah,
looks like grass, doesn't it? That's the scientific. It's going to get.
Looks like grass, tastes like grass.
Yeah. Coming to a beer near you soon, unless you live in Canada or parts of America.
But the bitterness is actually building a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, the body, it started off like a session IPA, and then it's like, hang on, hold your horses, I am here.
Yeah, not as dry as the pale ale. I mean, obviously this is an IPA. First beer was 5.4, and this is 7. I mean, it's not a huge leap, but it's a significant leap. But you can see the difference. There's maybe a little bit drier, a bit more watery. Even though they're contradicting things, but you mean quenching, but kind of like dried out, and that's got a little bit more kind of the malt character. Because I think there is malt character in there. It's not overt. I mean, I couldn't say specifically. Maybe there's a bit of water biscuit kind of going on in there.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think it's more of a mouthfeel based kind of body kind of thing. Is the malt?
Yeah. It's one of those things that sort of it's not New England, it's not West Coast, it's sort of somewhere in between because it doesn't have that sort of resinous pine thing or anything like that, or like you say with the malt, it hasn't got like a huge pronounced toffee thing or that sort of note. It is drinkable, but with that nice sort of bit of kick, it is really good.
Absolutely. So, Craig, you've got the Untapped page up on there. What's it saying on there?
So, I mean, this one's being listed at 6.6, whereas ours 7. But obviously, as it says, the ABV varies.
There's been just so many generations of this beer. Just one of those things, isn't it?
It's the same. This beer, it's the same recipe. The recipe's the same, obviously being Citra. But yeah, it's been around since like 2011. There you go. It's a lot of ratings. 11,237. And at 3.92, so it's just a shade on. If you do ratings, which is another topic of conversation. But yeah, I use this as a guide really. That's a lot of ratings, which you wouldn't get anything near the amount of ratings on rate beer for a beer like this. So
true, yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah,
so that's one of the reasons why I've always used this over.
Yeah, I mean to have 11,000 ratings and still to be hovering around that 4 out of 5 mark is pretty damn good. I mean, it only takes a few people to start marking it down, and then that average just drops.
You're always going to get that, I think, but most people who are into specialised beer, they're more likely, not everyone of course, but more likely going to have this app on their phone. So, and it's more instant. And it's independent. You know, that's another, as I said, that's another another topic. But yeah,
I like that. There's that photo of that guy. He's just balancing the beer on his shoulder. What's that, man?
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Like a little
So,
parrot.
like, why is this chap on there? Why is there a prominent image on that page?
I've no idea. But it's there.
He's balancing on his shoulder. He's got an half on his shoulder, hasn't he?
Must be his first one.
That's his signature.
Yeah, that's his first beer, I reckon.
We always complain.
Jules from La Bonita.
I don't know where that's.
La Bona Pinta. Also, Pinta, is that for you? So many confusing potential for.
Yeah.
You don't look very Polish, but you mean.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty damn impressive, isn't it?
So there's only been many check-ins recently on this one that we're drinking.
Oh, by the way, the total rate check-ins is 14,830. But that's not obviously that's the more important one there. But yeah, down below. So apart from man with a beer on his shoulder, someone got this from. There you go, Honest Brew. So an hour ago.
Hey, good
Pete
on
L. So yeah, he's given us a high mark there. So yeah, it's pretty damn close to another one an hour ago. So there's quite a few people drinking this.
I don't agree with David W.
3 hours ago, this guy, David W.
Where was he drinking it then? So where was this fat fella drinking it? I'm curious now. He's become kind of an internet-based kind of celebrity. Overnight, he's seen by tens of people.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know where this place is. Where is this place? Let's have a look. Barcelona.
Ah,
Barcelona.
cool.
Beer bar store. Barcelona.
Nice one.
There you go. He's drinking it out there. I mean, obviously Barcelona's pretty damn on the scene like London these days. You know, they've got some amazing bars out there. But yeah,
I just want to know the process leading up to that photo. It's like, put it on your shoulder. I'll take a photo. Put it on your shoulder.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's like, yeah, that'd be great.
He's become famous off the back of his.
I want to find his Instagram, and I hope it is just every beer that he drinks is just on the shoulder, and that's his whole Instagram.
That's his thing. Well, that's it. I mean, that's how you become popular on Instagram. You gotta have a thing.
There's a couple of ways, but
some more overt than others.
Exactly.
To some people, Kernel beers are head and shoulders above the rest. So there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, easy.
I am going to buy a foghorn one day.
Waking up the house.
Yeah. Go back to sleep. Craig just did a joke.
So I'll just go back to some of the comments that we just had. Getting back to Ollie at Pint Size said, "Oh shucks, you three are the original three wise men for sure." And we've got Nick over at I'll Hail the Ale, which everybody would know about if I had made that that hangout last week public opposed to private. That's my problem. But check out his channel. He says, "Evening!" Exclamation mark, and then he goes on to say, "Sorry, I'm working in a small window. Kernel is great stuff. Had it on tap, not far from the brewery. So fresh and tasty." Then Peter, Clueless Drinker, chimes in, says, "I think I'm due a bit of a Kernel haul." And then we are joined by award-winning podcaster Martin Oates of Opinions fame, and he says, "Just finished 2 Kernel beers myself. Cheers, one and all." And then we're back to Luke. 919. You know it. The numbers. Beer questions for lads. Were the Kernel the first UK brewery to bring hazy IPA to the UK? I know it's not New England style, but I remember drinking that 5 years ago. And if you want yeast, if it went yeast in it, was. Yes, I know what you mean. Like chicken stock. Yes. we'll get onto that in a second. Then Stu says, drinking an export India Porter clone tonight for a recipe from Kernel. Oh, cool. Very nice. It's a good beer, that. The double's cracking as well. Then Friend Sunset says, has anyone tried the export raspberry stout? No, I've not, but I have seen it. Not had it yet, though. I'd like to try it. It's by far the best stout I drank last year.
That's my friend Simon, lives up the road. He's about 4 miles up the road from me. Went for a bottle share around his house a couple of weeks ago, and it was ace. Yeah. Cheers, Si. That's good.
So no, I've not tried the raspberry, but I know a man who's got it. So if I get to his bottle shop at some point, I'll give it a go. And then Stu once again says, "Oh, so I'm missing his jumping out of the craft brew book." Oh, right, interesting. Then Peter Closestring says, "Rob is hangout king." Boom. You know it. You know it. Then Nick Hall at ALBL says, raspberry stout sounds ace. I should hunt that down. Peter then says, just drinking a Brett IPA from Wild Wave Brewing. Too much Brett.
Too much Brett.
Too much Brett.
Too much Brett. Send you, when it's too Bray, for me, it can smell like a public toilet.
Brett's probably
a clean one.
Brett is probably hammered now, to be fair.
Yeah, it probably is. That's Brett over at Bearded Beer Reviews, by the way. And then Nick says, drinking Sergeant Night Vision from Hectalgia. Ah. I think I remember that from the Real Ale Guide. So yeah, there's some perverse enjoyment of saying the Real Ale Guide there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we get onto the third and final beer, I'd like to say big thanks to our very kind sponsor, Honest Brew. Please go over to honestbrew.co.uk, buy some kick-ass beer. They've got some great stuff on there at the moment as well. Load of new Cloudwater, load of new Verdant. Got all trendy stuff at the moment, and that's what you want. That's what all you should come back to. Don't buy all that trendy beer, and don't drink all this really good stuff which has been around for like 8 years. All right. Anyway, but please do use our new discount code. That's GBL10, and that gets you 10% off all those over £29. So you get over to Honest Brew and buy some great beer. Don't use that code more than once, please. I will get in trouble. Not that anybody's done that. Not that I've done it myself. But yes. So, third and final beer. I think that's a very fitting way to round this out. Jake, you want to do the honours?
Yeah. Well, this is a classic, a modern craft beer classic. I'd say this beer. It is the Kernel's Export Stout, London, 1890. Coming in at 7.5%. No adjuncts, nothing like that. Just straight up stout.
Oh, wow, that's a hiss.
Yeah,
Big glug to that one.
But based on a recipe from 1890.
Yeah, I don't know anything more about that. I presume it was a Ron Patterson kind of like involvement once upon a time. Yeah, I remember this coming out years and years ago. Yes, so 7.5. No more details on the bottle. No, nothing about any of the other additional ingredients. Yeah. I'm curious what hops have been used back in 1890.
Yeah,
because
I'd imagine
even nowadays, if you get a stout from a brewery of any sort, you're probably going to get same old hops in it. It's still going to be like mosaic. Even though you probably shouldn't.
Are your chaps beer at room temperature, or did you get them out fridge?
Well, my basement temperature, so it's probably just under the room temperature.
Yeah.
Hence my sweatshirt down in the basement.
Well, I'm sort of room temperature upstairs. From my stout stash back there. So
it's stout wall.
It's stout wall. It's not quite PA Brew News warm, but it's It's not out the oven or nothing. It's,
On the radiator.
yeah, it's
I'll
pepper
go on the
intense.
radiator for a bit.
Indeed. But yeah, it's
But yes.
oh wow, it's an amazing looking.
Wow, look at the colour of that. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I've got my like big light up here, and I put it
It's
that.
just
Wow,
incredible.
that looks like a
poured
shiny
it.
piece of ebony.
Yeah,
poured it-
that head is just something else.
I poured it aggressively because
Yeah.
I want to appreciate the colour of it and stuff, and the fine bubbles in that.
It's like toasted marshmallow. Is that head?
Yeah, it's like burnt around the edge and it's lighter in the middle. That looks great.
Yeah.
Basically the same. It just
Oh, God. Oh, look at the state of that. Look at the state of that.
I had this beer last January, funnily enough, for the first time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had this
For the first time, really? Wow.
which is crazy. But yeah, we'll get onto it in a minute. But yeah,
I've
It
not
looks
had
amazing.
it in quite a while.
No,
Yeah,
I've not had
a
it
good
in
friend of mine
year or
used
so.
to always rave about this. He used to always say this, like
Yeah.
best beer in the country. I mean, I think last time I had it, I remember getting a bit of kind of, I hesitate to say, but a bit of acetaldehyde, a bit of like crunchy green apple. But I did get a mild preview, and I didn't get any of that. I tried to not sniff it, but it wasn't helping. It wasn't helping me. It was fucking jumping on me. Anyway, so shall we?
Yeah.
Get the
Let's
sauce
sniff
in
it.
there.
it is.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
it just the aroma
Hmm.
and just blew me away when I first got on this. It was like that is
Oh,
wow.
it just keeps going.
It initially rich roasty coffee. Like
Yeah, I mean, oddly, I mean, after that first hit, I get kind of like burnt sugar, and then I get I think I get a bit of Turkish delight,
Yeah, I was going to say there's some
and then it
kind
becomes
of,
a.
like not cherry, but it's got some kind
Don't
of.
say that.
don't mention
Yeah,
cherry.
my
as well,
issues.
come on.
I know
It's
you love.
in my mind, hey?
I know
It'll
you
ruin
love
every
cherry.
beer for me.
I know you love cherry, so
And then it becomes a little bit smoky towards the end.
is that?
But yeah, as Jake was saying, that kind of really intense,
Yeah.
kind of like burnt, roasty coffee kind
Yeah.
of thing.
But it almost smells creamy with that as well. It's got that
That's it.
luxurious, decadent kind of. You can almost picture what it's going to taste like just by the aroma. It's one of them beers, just like wow,
And,
You just
The
smell it
fancy guy.
forever.
it is amazing.
oh yeah,
Damn good.
it's got a bit of a. I mean, when I mean peat, I mean actual peat. People who've shortened their names from Peter, but not really. But like a peat bog, opposed to like peat whiskey. There's something kind of the minerality to it. There's like a soil, like a quality to it. Anyway, yeah, and a bit of kind of like bit of freshly laid tar and.
It's got a bit of like. It's got a bit of like marzipan almond type thing there as well.
There is nutty.
Something nutty, but it came through as like marzipan.
There's a certain
Absolutely not.
there's a certain level of sweetness to it as well.
Got maybe a bit of kind of hazelnut,
that's a
maybe a bit of
complex
hazelnut.
smelling beer.
Oh yeah, but it's one of them simple recipes. Like, why?
Smells good.
Why do you want? Sometimes you think, why would you want to move away from brewing it like traditionally and properly like this?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you get back to the basics of a stout, and it's like wow, Anyway, wow.
Oh,
Shall we?
yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's so good.
Oh.
Wow.
Mm.
That is
Hello.
flipping stunning.
Mm.
That is
Oh, that's
so
so
good.
good.
So good.
That's so good.
It really is.
And drinking it through that head as well is
Yeah.
Oh.
really good.
Wow.
Creme brulee.
Yeah.
Creme brulee and coffee.
Yeah. It's like it dances between sweet and bitter, and one never takes over from the other.
So well balanced and rounded, it's just untrue. It's like It's smooth as you like. It come across that in the aroma. And it's just like, now that's a stout. You know,
with
bodies
no
kind of like what, maybe top end of medium, bottom end of full.
Yeah.
It's only 7.5 though.
Yeah,
which is staggering for the flavour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like syrupy or anything like that. But it does have a nice velvety body to it.
Oh, it's so smooth, decadent, and just like so that sweetness. It's not. You say it's not overpowering the bitterness or anything. No. It's just.
I think 7.5 is about right for it as well, because there's no sort of like alcoholic burn or anything like that. It's smooth.
Nothing at all, is there?
Yeah.
It's just it's all well blended together. There's not one flavour that's actually standing out. There's not that bitterness. There's not that kind of that coffee, or there's a certain amount of chocolate.
Yeah.
Like a dark chocolate ganache. It's like got that like richness to
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. That chocolate ganache, and it's got the drying bitterness of like cocoa powder in there as well.
Yeah, it's like there's truffles of the cocoa powder
going on.
Yeah.
Like a chocolate. It's not like a chocolatey coffee mousse kind of thing with that smoothness.
It's a grown-up stout as well, I'd say.
It really is.
Yeah,
and I'll get that smokiness is really starting to pull through now. It's just I'm here as well. I'm at the party as well. It's like wow.
Yeah, Martin, if you're still watching, get this on a future episode of Opinions. I mean, you and Steve are going to go absolutely crazy. I was just drinking that and listening to those guys' podcast on my way home the other day. I'm thinking, now they'll go fucking nuts for this. Yeah. It's great. I mean, it's incredible when you can pull off all those flavors with just hops and malt. And obviously, it's primarily malt, and obviously process and things like that as well. But there's no adjuncts in this.
Yeah,
if you could give that to a lot of people, and that if they were very kind of like quite a new beer drinker who were used to a lot of adjunct heavy stouts, which I love an adjunct stout. I had a ridiculous one last night, and gave them that blind. I'm sure they would be saying it's got vanilla added, it's got coffee added, it's got chocolate added. Without a doubt.
Suspects, yeah. It's adjunctless. New word. But yeah, it's
what was the new word? Unjunctless. Adjunctless. I thought you said unjankless.
I did. Yeah. Just about wrong. It's the beer.
Free of adjunct.
Yeah. It's
so damn good. The old thing.
This has got to be highly rated, doesn't it?
Yeah, just before Craig gets something else, there's a couple of comments that have come in. Just squeeze these in because there's not many on this one. Hall Ale the Ale says stout should definitely be warmer. The flavours pop more, absolutely. And then Luke says, I've got a can of 2018 Buxton Rain Shadow on my beer shelf. It's very, very, very tempted to open. Do it. Of course, it's a great beer. That's a great beer as well.
Yeah, Rain
Shadow.
Shadow.
That's one of those beers that kind of like has all those flavours, but adjunctless. So Craig, you're gonna do the Untapped.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Come on, you fucking.
Silly.
Rob, I think the world's calling out for a Make Stouts Adjunctless shirt. Make Shouts Adjunctless again. It'd be great to have Adjunctless
t-shirts.
Adjunctless right across the.
Sold a few more of those t-shirts. Mainly to Americans.
Yeah, we're working. So, the total of 13,716 total check-ins. 218 in the last 30 days. 10,135 ratings coming in at 4 out of 5.
That's actually crazy. That it's actually the average is 4 on the nose, because just statistically that is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
the OCD in me is just I like that. I like that it's 4.
yeah, but this is again, this beer's been around since as you can see, the 12th of July of 2010.
So it's got a bit more about the recipe there as well.
Yeah, it's a lot more about the recipe. And the ABV varies. Ours is at the moment 7.5, and it's got there listed 7.2, so obviously there, and it says it as well, so there you go. So yeah, based on a recipe from London Brewery in 1890, hence the name. Go away. Yeah, simple recipe, massive taste indeed. I mean, we've just gone through all that. Dark black, oily texture, nose of rich dried fruit and alcohol warmth. Not really getting any kind of alcohol, to be honest. It's just so well made. Rum and raisin again. I didn't but we'll go into that after.
Yeah, good shout actually. Rum and raisin. I get that.
Yeah, rum and raisin. Then a herbal and a hot bitterness on top of a huge lingering espresso, hints of leather, tar, smoke, vanilla, and chocolate roasty. There you go. But yeah, that is a huge score for that amount of ratings. I mean, you don't get many beers on Untapped that get. If you get one that's 4.5 and above, I don't think I've ever seen like a 5 out of 5. I mean, you're not going to, because some people try it for the first time and then they'll think, oh, I don't like that. It's a world-class beer, and they give it like a 3 or something silly, or 2, and it's like it throws it all out. But overall, I mean, that is that's very impressive beer indeed. Let's see if there's anyone had it recently. I guess so. That amount of ratings, probably today. I'll guess somewhere an hour ago. There you go. The Paper
Duck in Birmingham.
Oh, there you go. I would love to try it on keg.
It's on draft as well. Yeah.
Well, Paper Duck. That's on outskirts of Birmingham, where we'll all be next week.
Beer Fly. I don't know what that is.
No idea.
But yeah, a lot of people giving the same kind of scores by the looks of it. Yeah, there's quite a few. Beer Fly, wherever that is. I'm not even going to go into try and pronounce that. 2 hours ago.
I'll give it a go.
I'm bad enough with simple words, never mind things like that. 3 hours, 5 hours. So yeah, there's a lot.
A fair amount of this has been consumed actually today, which is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, 7 hours ago. It's just 8 hours ago. So yeah,
I think this is a sort of core range as Kernel get, really, don't they?
Pretty much. It's year round, easy to get. Well, fairly easy to get. It's on. I assume it's still on their website. So.
Yeah, I think most of these beers are still on Honest Brew as well.
Yeah, I haven't checked. I should have done.
One of them isn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was looking the other day. I can't remember which one, but it's this.
yeah.
Let me just jump on there. It probably is this.
I mean, the IPA and the Pale were great, but this is in another league. It's almost got it's ascended.
Yeah.
In its quality.
When we got these beers, as much as I like their pales and IPAs,
this is the one that sold out.
This is the one. Oh right, this is the one I was really looking forward to.
But it'll reappear on there, no doubt.
It's not hard to get hold of.
It's essentially a core beer, isn't it? It's essentially a core range beer.
But that is a sign that it's bloody good. Sold out straight away, so it's like not surprising.
Yeah, it's absolutely exceptional. And on that point, we'll sign off. So big thanks to Honest Brew for supplying beers for this evening. We actually had planned to have a different set of beers on tonight, which we'll do on the next one, but we just couldn't kind of resist having some Kernel. I was just like, I'm really in the mood for some drinks of Kernel, man.
Yeah, we just want to drink it as fresh as possible.
They're absolutely honest.
Yeah, these beers
are 6 weeks old, fresh as possible.
Yeah, this brewery, the solid come, basically. Brewery
and absolutely, I mean, and what... I mean, fucking go nuts for as I do. I go as nuts for all the kind of like the trendy stuff as anybody else. But I think a lesson learned that you can't bypass the quality that Kernel offer. It's just it is. I mean, and this beer really is a great example of how incredible they are.
What was that code again? trying to remember. Yeah, it's a new one, isn't it?
That was GBL10 for your.
Do we want to show the? Do we want to show the next show's beer?
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Well done.
yeah,
I've got
absolutely.
it because our next theme is core range beers. So if you're ever going to be able to drink along, it's got to be the next episode. So we're going to go for Cocoa Wonderland from Thornbridge. I'm pulling these out in random order, by the way. We won't be drinking them in this order. And then we've got Jakehead from Wylam.
A new can.
The new canned form. And then we have Sleeping Limes from Wild Beer Co.
Yeah, we'd probably be drinking them in reverse order.
Probably reverse order.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes. So please jump on Honest Brew. Use the discount code. Get those 3 beers if you and please drink along if you fancy it. There's some good stuff there. I mean, I know 2 of those beers very well. Never had that. I've had Sleeping Lemons from Wild, but I've not had the Sleeping Lime, so that's gonna be an interesting one.
Bizarrely, I've only had one of them 3 beers, which is the Jakehead. I had it on.
Oh,
that was my first.
And that's an improvement on the recipe as well. I had a can last week.
Yeah, I first beer from Wylam was Jakehead on cask about 4 years ago, and I was like, "Who are these?" And I drank it. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." I was like, "Wow, this is a good beer." And that was my introduction to Wylam. I'd never heard of them before that when I was in London one time. But we got any more comments as well before we?
Oh yes, good point. I don't think we do, but I'll just check just in case. No, we don't. And on that bombshell.
Cool.
So yeah, huge thanks to Craig and Jake for joining me for another episode of Good Beer Live. Big thanks to Honest Brew, as I said earlier. Get on there, buy some beers. Keep this kind of gravy train moving. And you know, another big thing. So keep an eye out on multiple channels. So me, Craig, Jake, and a multitude of our fellow UK beer tubers will be out and about next weekend in Birmingham. If you want to come and join us, feel free. Come and say hello. But I mean, there's chances are there's going to be live streams on mine, Jake, if we've been honest. But yeah, so out and about there'll be us three. There'll be Peter, the Clueless Drinker. There will be Stuart from the Ginger Ale Trail, and Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews as well. And that's everybody, isn't it?
Harry, do you say Harry?
Harry.
Oh, and of course, Harry. How could I forget? How terrible of me. So we try to forget. Come say that. He's usually fucking drinking to posh.
He's normally working, so.
Usually working, yeah. So like 3 in the morning. So it's a rare day off for Harry.
Yeah.
But yes, so keep an eye out on social media because I'm sure at some point we'll drunkenly pop up on amongst your feed and see what we're up to. But yeah, if you want to come over, come and say hello. So we'll be around town on the Friday, and then we've excitedly taken a trip there on Saturday as well.
Yeah, I think
exciting.
I think we've got a separate channel, haven't we, where we stream stuff. It was the Manchester Piss Up channel. I think we'll probably change the name.
We're going to put some on that one. Okay.
I would assume.
Cool.
Well, so potentially look up that and.
Yeah, but we'll spam it all over social media. So yeah, might be some hijinks, especially on the Saturday night after we get back from day.
Various
bottle chair.
Various
so if you want to see it
of soberness and stuff.
Yeah. If you want to see us at our worst, then that's probably the place to see us. But yes, until next time, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Boom.